That's Mac. I'm Brandon. This is a podcast because we have a podcast. Mac, I see you got some special company with you today. Go ahead and introduce who you got for our guest today.
This is Ashley, best in the business. She's been doing podcasts her whole life, so we figured we'd be bringing her on our third episode to share with the world her knowledge and wisdom.
Hello.
How you doing?
Very good.
All right.
Happy to be here.
So you have an extensive knowledge on podcasting, apparently. What is your insight that you would give to us based off of the first two episodes, how you feel like we could do better?
That's a really tough question. I think y'all are doing a great job.
Okay.
I think it's interesting. I think you should probably try to get more people involved, get it out there,
Yep.
get your name out there. But other than that, I think y'all are doing a great job.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the vote of confidence.
Other than, sports that can get more.
Yeah, and that's some feedback that I've had. A few people have said, you said in your first video you weren't going to do all sports, and the second video was pretty much predominantly sports. But that's because we had a really cool guest on that had a deep passion with the Cowboys. We kind of went off on a tirade, and we ended up spending the whole video talking about the Dallas Cowboys. So kind of the way that one geared, trying to keep it, I guess you could say, keep the vibe going with where it's going. Keep the momentum on whatever topic feels good, and we'll just keep rolling through it. So today we do have a few topics. This may not be as long of a video as what we've had in the past, just because we have an injured party here, someone who's recently gone through a surgery, and we don't want him to be sitting in a chair for too long. So, Mac, tell us a little bit about your surgery.
Yeah, so second episode at the end, we talked about I was having hip surgery done, total hip replacement on Monday at the age of 34, which I guess is not that rare, come to find out, but still young to have total hip replacement. It was a wild experience if you haven't had surgery. So I've never had surgery, well, not in my adult life. And so I started out the day waking up and getting in the car and headed to the outpatient center. And the only thing I was thinking of the whole time was they're going to put an epidural in my back, which an epidural is something that
They use in delivery.
Yeah. And they go in your spine.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, I'm not sure how they're going to do this, because I remember watching my wife get one, and I was like, man, I'm so glad I'm not a woman. And now here I am. About to
A woman. Now he's a woman.
What?
Nothing.
Because men can get epidurals too.
Yeah.
I didn't think that. I never thought I was going to have to give birth. I only thought you got epidural.
Well,
anyway.
I mean, I hope you never have to give birth.
So that's the only thing I was thinking of. They take me back to the room. This nurse shaves me in my areas, and we have a conversation. Takes about 10 minutes.
Did you look passionately into her eyes while she was shaving you?
I did not.
Well, that's good, because I don't think your wife would like that very much.
Well, I was like, this is exactly why I told Brittany to shave me the night before. But here we are in room 121 getting shaved by a nurse. So that happens. And then pretty much after that, I think the pre-med started kicking in and everything just started happening real fast. They hit me up with some fentanyl.
It's kind of like that whole hardball.
And once that got in my system, I was like, hey, take both hips out at this point. Whatever you got to do. I was feeling good. And then they told me, they wheeled me back into the operating room, and there was like loud rock music being played. And I remember the nurse, because my doctor likes to listen to music while he does surgery, which is fine.
He was pretty cute too.
Okay. Yeah, my wife got his number after surgery. But
for emergencies.
Right, yeah. Not at all because you had another woman shaving your scrotum.
Yeah. But anyways, I hear loud rock music, and then the nurse that's getting me back there Like, can somebody turn that music down? They turn it down a little bit, and then the anesthesiologist was like, all right, breathe 10 times. And I think
that was it. That was it. Done.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah, it's just a wild experience because they said it was only going to be 60 minutes. It was actually like 2.5 hours.
No, it was only an hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Well, and the reason why they went past the initial hour that they were expecting was because it was worse than they expected, right? Whenever they got in, there was a few issues with the bone that they didn't expect, so they wanted to make sure they took a little bit more time to make sure they got everything out of there.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure it was clean, smooth. Everything they were putting in was going to be working the right way. So,
right.
But they also said because his muscle was so thick, they're probably used to working on like older people.
They said I had a lot of muscle.
They said the doctor was like, it was really hard to get.
That's what she
there.
said.
I don't know, but
Someone said, yeah, it's probably a little too much fat. I was like, nah, it's muscle, dude. It was muscle.
So you're coming out of your anesthesia state, your pass-outedness.
I want to be sedated.
There we go. So now it's going to be karaoke with Mac. So you come out of sedation, right? And what's the first thing you remember? Not the first thing you saw on video. What's the very first thing you remember, and how did you feel in that moment?
The first thing I remember is me telling the nurse, okay, I'm sorry we kept you here late. I'm ready to go. We're leaving.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, okay. Because I guess they closed the place down at 5, but the surgery went long. A couple surgeries went long. And so we were there at like 6 still. And that's the first time I remember actually like coming to. But I guess from videos, I've been awake previously.
Yeah.
But I was telling the nurse, okay, I'm ready to get up. I have to walk. And she was like, you have to go pee too. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do it all. I'm sorry. I kept on saying sorry. I kept on calling my grandmother Shirley. I was worried about her because she was still at my house.
Oh, wow.
Waiting for me to get home. And I was like, she needs to get home. It's getting late. And I remember all that. And the nurse was like, okay, well, here's all your clothes, and my wife's in there. She's like, if you feel comfortable, you can dress them. I'll leave the room. And I was like, yeah, you better leave the room because that first nurse was scared of this snake. And why do you make that face?
Yeah, nothing.
And yeah, so
you remember saying that, but you were kind of like, you wouldn't say that if you were completely sober.
Yeah,
Wait, did you actually say that to the nurse?
Yeah,
I said to the nurse.
To the other nurse, yeah.
But I was on Mountain Dew and stuff.
Yeah.
Fentanyl.
Sure. Sure.
He just had a near-death experience.
Yeah, I nearly died.
I mean,
I was like, there's a snake in my boot.
Yeah, sure. All right, Woody. So you're all good there. Everything went well. It was a success. Bone taken care of. Now you got this plastic, urethane, rubber. What is it? What's it made out of? Did they tell you?
I have a steel rod in my femur.
Okay.
I have a titanium ball that's connected to that steel rod. And then this ball is inside a plastic
joint.
Yeah, that's in my hip.
So you essentially, I don't know if you remember having those little action figures, the little Kung Pao people that you can move around whenever, and you pull the socket off and it would be the little ball. That's basically what your hip is. Yeah. If we take your leg off, it looks like that little thing on the end, right?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And
so
basically, if you
makes it easier to amputate and put on a different limb. If you have one that matches the right length, they can just pop that leg off, put a new one on, and then good to go, right? I mean, that's how it worked with my Venom and my Superman and my Wolverine that I had when I was a kid.
Yeah, but you still got to have all the right connections going everywhere.
True. Ligaments.
Make sure you got your toes
tendons,
working and your feet.
Nerves, blood vessels.
Yeah. But yeah, I get where you're going. The hip surgery, I mean, it's like a miracle surgery. It's crazy how far along they've come.
And that's
'Cause
with
I
a
feel
lot of things. There's been a lot of things that they've made complete advancements in. We 10, 15, 20 years ago, we never thought possible. Imagine what we can do in another 10 to 15 years.
basically take a knife to your socket and they that's how they pop that out.
Ugh.
You gotta
Well,
watch the
yeah.
video.
No,
Look it up online.
I don't want to see the video of the surgery. But I mean, I imagine they go in there and right above the thing and just shear it right off, and it's just severed. So your leg is just dangling there on the table, for all intent and purposes. And then they drill the little or cut the spot off of the bone that they need to replace and put the rod and all that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can look at a little bit of blood, but I mean, I remember one
I bet there was
time.
a lot of blood.
Oh yeah, I remember one time I was on my way to work when I worked at my previous employer, and I had a bridge on the service road that I had to go across, and I worked the night shift that started at 2 a.m. So it's 1:30 in the morning. I'm driving across this bridge. There was a truck in front of me that had dodged into the right lane and then got into the left lane in front of me, and I was like, what the hell is that about, So I kept going, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a body laying in the road right in front of me. Freaked me out. It's the first time I had ever seen a person laying in the middle of the road, lifeless, just laying there. And so I dodged over to the right and just stopped. And sure enough, the truck that was in front of me had stopped. And I get out and I'm like, what in the hell am I seeing? I had just woke up, And the guy gets out of the car up ahead and starts running toward me. And he's like, I didn't see him. It was a mistake. I didn't see him. I'm like, whoa. Did you hit him? And he goes, yeah. He jumped out in front of me and I didn't know what. It was the weirdest shit I had ever seen in my life. Turned out, I guess the guy was either drunk or he was trying to commit suicide. And the person that was going down the road in front of me had just got off work and he was a chef. At a big restaurant, and he was literally on his way home. He was just driving home from his restaurant.
And he ran over the guy?
And he didn't run over him, but he said that he hit him with the front driver's side fender, so the guy kind of rolled off the car and fell on the ground. And I just so happened to be there to see it. So I dialed 911, get the cops there, and they come over, talk to me, and I was like, I got to go to work. I got to clock in at 2. I can give you my phone number, whatever. I didn't see the incident, but, it had just happened right in front of me.
Last meal, because he's a chef.
Oh. But it was the weirdest thing, and they never called me. I never found out if the guy lived or not, but it was really, really weird. So just that, I know my reaction to that. I can only imagine what it would be seeing a large amount of blood, seeing someone that's obviously deceased. At the time when I was on that scene, the guy wasn't dead. So, I mean, I don't know.
You ever seen a dead body?
A very, very good friend of mine who's like a brother to me, I was in the room where he fell, hit his head, and they were trying to get him to start breathing. He wasn't breathing on his own. Then he went to the hospital where he was later pronounced dead. But I've never actually seen a person deceased in front of me, if that makes sense. It's kind of like two gray areas there with those two people. But no, never been in the same
funeral. You've seen him at a funeral, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, not someone who just like literally right in front of me died.
When I was 15, I wanted a motorcycle, and my dad, for 30 plus years, we were playing basketball in the gym, and he got a call about a motorcycle wreck at like 35, where 35 splits in Denton. And yeah, a motorcycle was running from the cops, went up a hill, this car pulled out on top of the hill, didn't see the motorcycle coming, motorcycle T-boned the car, guy died on impact.
Yeah,
and pulls me up on scene and to show me, oh yeah, the guy laying there was dead.
Yeah,
you never got on a motorcycle?
I never got on a motorcycle.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough.
I'm 15, bro. You can't be showing me this stuff.
I mean, hey, yeah, you got to be exposed to stuff at some point in time. Yeah, but enough about dead bodies and.
I can play the guitar.
I don't know. I don't know how to respond to that. No. So one of the things that I know Ashley kind of brought up before. Ashley kind of brought up talking about dating in modern day. So I know it's kind of a drastic jump from one spectrum to another. But give us some of your take on what it is to be in the dating scene in this generation, where we're at today in 2024, coming out of 2023.
I mean, there's always two sides, the good and the bad, but I do think it's more difficult just because of social media. I think as you get older, it gets more difficult anyway, but people like to do the online dating, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Scary.
Well, and I think the biggest thing, and don't take this the wrong way, me being an advocate for single females, it's so dangerous in the world we live in with the amount of people that are out there for harm for evil, to be out in the world dating online. It's such a dangerous place to be, considering you don't know what you're meeting, you know? What sounds like a harmless, hey, let's meet at this restaurant and have a good time, and unfortunately it can sound great over a couple of emails or a couple of text messages, and then you get there and you find out you're in a very dangerous situation and you don't have anybody that you know with you. So I can understand.
Into like a stalker later on.
Yeah, absolutely. They find
you just
out.
Don't know anything about them. You don't know their background.
They find out the basic details that they need.
They could be lying about everything. You know?
Yeah, it's scary. It's a scary, scary place. I know for me, I haven't really gone out and looked. I haven't really done a lot of looking. I don't do the online dating thing. I downloaded a couple of apps.
Looked at women, or like just like gone out and looked at
dating.
Downloaded a couple of apps, you know, back about 5-10 years ago. Kind of looked around, and I agree. It's just the quality of searches. It's different. It's difficult. You typically find people that are either out for the wrong things, or you find people that are just not compatible at all. It makes it very difficult for someone at, like you said, at my age, 40 years old. It's not an easy thing.
Are your standards too high?
Well, some would say maybe they are. I'm not one of those people that's going to waste my time. I know what I'm worth. I know what I'm trying to do in my life. I'm not out for just one night of having a good time. I don't feel like that's the right way for me to move forward with a dating. I want to find someone that I'm compatible with, and that's what I want to go into, with that understanding that both of us are out for the same thing. Going forward with some type of a relationship to see what the outcome is. Not, hey, let's have fun this weekend, and then...
You never talk to you again.
Yeah, you never talk to him again. That's a waste of my time. It's a waste of her time. It's just inevitable that it's not going to work out. I'll steer clear of those situations.
I want to be like a power couple.
Yeah.
Like where I'm like king and she's queen.
Like Beyonce and Jay-Z, you know?
So, the only person who's not single in this whole equation, Mac, tell us the whole point of what you wanted to talk about with dating in today's society. What do you see from the married perspective?
About dating?
Yeah. Share.
I mean, way harder than it used to be.
Yeah?
I think it's our age, but also, because when you're younger, you know, everybody's single that you're around.
Or they're not single, but they don't mind continuing to date. That's another problem.
That's true too.
They don't want to be. They don't want
to lock down on one. They want to have
that's a lot on those
side
apps.
piece.
Those guys on those apps are usually married.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's just like a waste of time. And then if you meet somebody on an app, are you always going to be thinking that they're on another app? Like, is this your first time to date? Have you been doing this? Are you just
right? That's why I just wait, and when it's time, it'll happen.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to put yourself in those opportunities for it to happen.
Hello, world. I'm a 40-year-old white man, and I'm single. If you're interested, leave a like, leave a comment down below.
That's what I'm talking about.
But I mean, come on.
Put yourself in that opportunity.
People are gonna be blowing you up on YouTube now.
Yeah. It's gonna be a bunch of middle-aged guys on there saying, "I'll take you out, Buttercup."
Sounds like a trucker.
Sure do got a pretty mile. Dating 2023, 2024. All around just sucks.
I think it could be fun.
It could be fun, yeah. Like I said, there's good things to it as well.
Like if I was a female, dude, I would be all about dating because I would set up my weekend that way because the guy's gonna pay for it. And so now the women are gonna get a free date night every Friday. Like, I'm going with this dude.
And now you know why I don't date. Because there's a lot of women out there that are just out for the free meal. They just want to get out of the house. They want to get away from the kids. So they plan every Friday and then every Saturday they're going on a date. They tell their mom, hey, can you watch the kids? I'm going to go on a date. I'm trying to find Mr. Right. But really, they're just going to go.
You got to start fishing in the right pond. You're fishing in the wrong pond.
So you're saying you're in a different pond than what I'm looking for because you're the type of female.
I would be swimming in the fun pond.
Yeah, you're the type of female. Okay, stay with me here. That you finna go to Red Lobster on Friday and you trying to go to Saltgrass on Saturday. Yeah, all right, with two completely different guys.
Yeah,
and then maybe go to the movies on Wednesday and
Rangers game on Thursday.
All different guys. You a hoe. You a hoe. It's all right.
That's why my hip got this.
That's why that God don't like ugly. You put a crook in that wall.
I take advantage of the opportunity.
Okay, well, the opportunities
is given to me.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like fun.
Look, the world is a mess.
Yeah,
the world is a mess. Makes it very difficult.
So you gotta make it right.
How do you make it right? I mean,
I don't know.
Give me some solutions here, Mac. You're the problem solver.
Are we talking about just making it right in the dating scene?
Well, I mean, what's gonna make it right in the dating scene?
Don't be a hoe.
So don't be you. Got it. Everybody, pay attention.
I'm married.
Get out of the fun pond. Come over to the waters where people are trying to.
The fun pond.
People are trying to do.
Getting, you know, to the one pond.
We should come up with a what's that dating where you like go in circles or whatever.
Speed dating.
Yeah, speed dating.
Do a podcast, a speed dating podcast.
Oh,
that's a great idea.
Coming at you live from Hooters in Denton, Texas. Speed dating fast.
No, we'd have to do it at Twin Peaks. We'd have to do it at Twin Peaks. Unless Hooters wants to sponsor us. If Hooters wants to sponsor us...
It's a battle. Y'all fight with each other.
We your guys.
Can I take a phone call?
Yeah.
Hey, let me call you back. Okay, love you, bye. Sorry about that.
Was that a single white female?
It was.
There you go, Brandon.
Interesting.
Call. Put her on air.
Yeah. Matter of fact, call her back. Call her back. Ask her what dating's like in 2024.
Stand up for a minute.
Yeah.
I can't sit for long.
Ooh, look at that. I see a snake. Let me get a beer real quick.
Nuh-uh.
You lied. She's not single.
I thought you were single.
I am single. I'm here, girl.
Oh, well then ask her what dating is like in 2024.
Okay, wait. We're on a podcast right now, and we want your opinion. What's dating like in 2024?
What emotion? So I don't. So...
It's crazy.
Sorry. I didn't know. Brandon took a break from the podcast, so I called you back, and he's back. He's like, ask her what date. We just got through talking about it.
Do you swim in the fun pond or the one pond? What?
What'd she say?
I'm straight as fuck.
I didn't understand any of that.
She said, do you swim in the fun pond or the one pond?
Oh, I swim in the fun pond for now.
See? I think so.
So which one is she in?
The fun pond.
Ah.
She just had a bad breakup,
Ah,
Yeah, I just got into a new relationship, and I'm still trying to like find myself. So I'm just having fun, but not fucking everybody. Just getting to know people. That's kind of where I'm at.
okay.
That's good. That's
Okay.
good.
That's good.
I mean, it's still technically, basically, you got one foot in the fun pond, but
That
you
know
can.
myself better than others, but at the same time, enjoying myself while
Hanging out with others.
I like it.
Yeah, so I'm not going to let people take advantage of me. I'm not going to let people run over me, and I'm not going to take advantage of other people.
100%.
I just
That's 100.
She
fear
just said she's trying to beat her meat.
someone who is verbally abusive.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
100.
I like it.
All right, so fun times talking about dating, talking about hip surgery, and all of that good stuff. Because we like to talk about different things, it's good to kind of get some different topics going. However, we do have a couple of things that have come up in the NFL, so I kind of want to go over a few things before we get off here tonight. So, big news in Philly. Kellen Moore, officially the previous LA Chargers offensive coordinator, but the former Dallas Cowboys offensive coordinator, is now on his third team in as many years. He is joining the Philadelphia Eagles underneath Sirianni as the offensive coordinator. What are your thoughts on the Kellen Moore addition to Philadelphia? What do you think?
If he didn't work out with the Chargers, he's not going to work out as an offensive coordinator anywhere.
Okay.
He needs to go to college, maybe. But, dude, Justin Herbert, I like it. Good quarterback. Cowboys, Dak Prescott. What do we need to give him a Tom Brady to make him be like?
Yeah, and I mean, you already kind of know how I feel about Justin Herbert. I think the guy's got everything there, right? Between his ears is, I think, the biggest problem. He can't seem to get over the rushing and trying to progress things too fast. Let things come to him naturally and find the right spot to go with the ball. He typically makes mistakes trying to rush.
Yeah, he's also young.
Yeah, definitely some things that need to be done there to work through some of those issues in his progressions. But now, obviously, Kellen Moore goes to Philly. I feel like that's going to be a big hurdle from my perspective because of the way that he's able to figure out motions within his offense. That's going to continue to be a thing that Philadelphia is going to continue to rely on, which we had issues with all year last year, of being able to stop the motions or figure out the motions and deal with those with the defense that we had. Now we're going to have a completely different defense because Dan Quinn has signed on as the Washington Commanders head coach, which I said I didn't want it to happen. I didn't think it would happen. Unfortunately, that's where we're at. What are your thoughts on Dan Quinn going to Washington? What's your big worry there? Do you feel like that's going to be a good hire for Washington, or is that going to be a bad hire for Washington?
No, it'll be a good hire for Washington, but I mean, now the Cowboys. Now, who are we going to get for our defense, and are we going to lose Michael Parsons?
Yeah. Yep. All the signs point that Joe Witt is going to go and join Washington as Dan Quinn's offensive coordinator. And then there's still rumors that even Al Harris could leave, which Al Harris, honestly, in my opinion, deserves a lot of credit for what he was able to do with the DBs here in Dallas for the last 3 years. I'd really hate to lose Al. I think that's one of the guys I'd love to keep in-house. So we'll see what happens with the Cowboys there. They're looking at either Ron Rivera.
If the Cowboys could get Jason Witten, would you be interested in this conversation? Did you hear that rumor?
I heard
He's coaching in Argyle right now.
not as a head coach.
Yeah. No, yeah, he's coaching as head coach.
No. What I'm saying is the rumor was that Jerry was willing to fire Mike McCarthy and bring in Jason Witten as the head coach.
I think it'd be awesome. That'd be like Dan Campbell.
It would be great. I'll say that. It'd be great
It's a game changer.
to have him come in as the tight ends head coach. Or not tight ends head coach, the tight ends coach. Work with the tight ends and work his way up. And then possibly this time next year you start having a discussion. Does he have the merit to take over as the offensive coordinator?
He's got a state championship, dude. He's got a state championship. He's got the merit. You put him as tight end coach, man. That's a step down. He's head coach material
For high school.
for pro.
No, he's a head coach for a high school.
Yeah, I know. And he's got a state championship ring after 1 year.
That's great, but
he's just a leader.
All of the things that came out of the locker room when Jason Witten was with the Dallas Cowboys was he didn't want to help other tight ends progress. He wanted to be the one. He wanted to be solo. He wanted to be a leader, but he didn't want to help pull people up with him. It wasn't until you moved 82 out of the locker room before tight ends started working together and elevating each other. If you watch, if it wasn't Jason Witten on the field, there really wasn't a very good option at tight end. And that's because he wasn't willing.
Was the best.
He wasn't willing to share his skill.
He was running down the field with no helmet on.
Yeah, once. He didn't want to share his skill. He didn't want to help to bring people up. And again, I'm not saying that it's absolutely the truth because I wasn't there. But those are the things that come out of the locker room. I don't think
like people look at the camera more often.
I don't think you bring him straight into the front office and say, "Hey, now you're a head coach." You got to work him, man. You got to see what he's going to be able to do with the professional level football. It's different. High school's different than college. College is way different than the pros. You've got to be able to work yourself up. So,
if he was single, would you date him?
Jason Witten, I'd date him if he was single. He's got a lot of money. He's a state champion. Like I said,
next weekend.
They're looking at either Ron Rivera or what was the other name that the Cowboys were looking at for a potential offensive coordinator? Defensive coordinator. Mike Zimmer.
Oh, really?
Zimmer. Yeah, Zimmer said that he would love to come and interview for it. He wanted to be in contention for it.
He's been here before.
Yeah, and I think I think he's honestly the better option that's out there right now. If you're not going to promote Al Harris and keep him in the building and make him your defensive coordinator, go get Zim. Go get Zim.
We're going to lose our job in a month. Why don't you apply?
Because I don't have the experience.
It's the NFL, dude. It's all rigged.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that whole coaching thing here in Dallas. So the Seahawks, they hired Ravens defensive coach Mike McDonald as their new head coach. So they decided not to go with Quinn, which put Quinn back in the seat to try to find another team or come back, and he ended up going to Washington. Can they replicate some of that defensive culture in Seattle that they had in Baltimore?
No. The Seahawks will now go back to where the Seahawks were back in early 2000s, irrelevant for the next 10 years.
Interesting.
They don't have anybody.
It's a very interesting take. Well, they're like middle of the road, so they're going to be drafting somewhere in the middle. They feel like they've got their head coach or their quarterback. So
they should have never passed it on 1st and goal or 4th and goal. They should have ran it with Marshawn Lynch, and they will forever be.
It'll come to you. Give it one more second. It'll come to you.
They'll forever be a wannabe?
No, they'll forever be.
They're going to forever be chasing that Super Bowl that they missed.
They'll be a has-been.
They'll be.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Like the Red Sox. They had a
golden opportunity?
No.
They had a hex on them.
Yeah, they had a hex on them.
Oh. I don't believe in that witchcraftery. Yeah, I don't really know how else to feel about the Seahawks. I think they've got some people there. They've just got to build around them. I still think Smith is a good quarterback, and I think he can do some really good things there. We'll see what Mike McDonald wants to do, if he wants to move on from Smith and go with somebody else. But Man, it's going to be weird seeing some of the faces that have been known to be in the league, like your Pete Carroll, like Bill Belichick. Those guys are gone. They're not in the league right now. So it's going to be kind of a weird year. And then depending on what the Cowboys, Washington, and the Eagles do, NFC East could be different, man. Who knows? Maybe all three of those teams are at the bottom and the Giants somehow find a way to get on top. They got a new head coach too, right? Or do they still keep Dayball? They kept Dayball, but they got rid of their defensive coordinator. That was the other guy that they were talking about. Some of the guys on the radio were talking about bringing in what the hell's the guy name from New York, the defensive coordinator? I can't think of his name. Yeah, look that up for me. Apparently, he and Dayball didn't get along, and Dayball was tired of dealing with him. So the defensive coordinator there, which you're about to tell me his last name, decided he didn't want to stick around in New York. He couldn't deal with Dayball, so he decided to bounce. And you still haven't found me his name.
I haven't. Ben John.
No. My gosh.
I don't know, man.
Okay, but what's the point? What do we need to know his name? People probably know.
Ashley's cut out.
Martindale. Wink Martindale. So Wink Martindale is
Winky Dinky.
yeah.
Martin.
So old Wink Martindale's still out there on the market, trying to find another job. So we'll see what happens there. I don't know who the Cowboys are going to get, but I'm hoping for Zimmer. I think that's probably the best fit. He knows the culture. He knows what the star is and what it's supposed to be. So we'll see. We'll see what goes on there. What's so funny?
That is not him.
Maybe him 28, 30 years ago?
Says Wink Martindale.
That dude was born in 1933.
That is not
that
Wink
him?
Martindale.
Wrong Wink Martindale.
I didn't know that. I learn something new every day. There's two Wink Martindale.
Are we sure that's the right name?
Yep.
I don't think so.
This.
But watch our next podcast next week, and we'll let you know all the mistakes we made and correct them.
This is Wink Martindale. That's Wink Martindale.
You can't see it.
You can't see him.
I see watch straight. Oh, I need to watch straight.
That's Wink Martindale.
That's his son.
Oh, it is his son. So we were looking at the Wink Martindale Sr.
Yeah, I guess so.
We're talking about Wink Martindale.
That guy right there, is that who you were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the senior.
that's Winky's dad.
Yeah, that's the original. That's the OG.
The OG Winkendale, Martindale. I don't want him.
Right now, if Gary Jones hires this guy as our defense coordinator, we will be 8-9 next season.
Yeah, I don't want him. I feel like he was trash in New York, and I feel like he would be trash here. And hopefully they bring in the Zim, and we'll see what happens.
You know, the best predictor of the future is past behavior, so.
Well,
Wisdom, knowledge,
It's
bro.
not looking good.
Wisdom and knowledge.
you know what's better than my Lamborghini? Knowledge. Y'all remember those commercials?
No.
Crap
No.
commercials. Anyway. Do what?
Did you just say crack commercial?
No.
What'd you say?
I don't even remember now.
Oh.
I turned around and y'all were laughing at me.
Because you said something Lamborghini like crack commercial.
You know what you mean with Lamborghini?
The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. So that means the Cowboys are going to keep doing what they've been doing for 28 years.
Knowledge.
No. Okay. So we've gotten through some of the other topics about the coaches and stuff like that going on.
Yeah.
Super Bowl's coming up, but first we got the Pro Bowl. Have you seen any of the Pro Bowl skill shows stuff?
We watched it the other night, and then she changed it to Aaron Brockovich.
Because Aaron Brockovich is probably better than the Pro Bowl stuff, right?
Exactly.
I mean, this stuff's trash, dude.
Jalen Hurts looked like he has a hurt elbow.
Sorry. And what did Michael Parsons look like? Like, he could have been a starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys last year. Who knows?
That one guy looked kind of cute, but
Baker Mayfield.
no. The one I was like, who's that guy back there? And you were like that.
Oh, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
He looked,
What? Say what you were gonna say.
Jalen Hurts, he looked cute. That was all I noticed about it. And
Well, hey, I guess if you look good at the position, you don't have to play the position very well.
he wasn't doing anything. He was just sitting there.
Yeah, no, we know he didn't do anything all year. He ran the ball. He ran the ball for 2 yards. That's about it. It's the story of his 2023 season.
All I watched is him catch like 6 footballs or something. That was kind of cool.
Oh, the punting. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah,
That was cool.
They talked a little bit about that on the radio. All right, so our last topic. I know we wanted to talk about Super Bowl, kind of going over some of the things that we feel like would be a good thing that we want to see for the Super Bowl. It's not going to be prediction time this
I want to see
week.
Taylor Swift at halftime.
We're going to talk about predictions next week on who we think's going to win the game.
The Chiefs.
What?
The Chiefs.
So we've already got our predictions
You heard
in.
it here first. The one and only wisdom, knowledge.
Because we don't know if Ashley's going to be here next week, so Ashley is going to rock with the team that she chooses now, and we'll put that on the screen next week.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good deal.
Go Taylor
But
Swift.
do what?
Go Taylor Swift.
Oh my God! This whole
You don't
Taylor
want to
Swift.
see Swifty at halftime?
She's so overrated to me. I'm
No,
so
man, she's
tired.
good.
I'm
She's
so
good.
tired of it.
NFL.
And everybody says it's hater. Colin Coward got on and he said, you know why all these people are talking bad about Taylor Swift? And the reason why is because most of you are middle-aged men that can't get a good-looking woman to chase you around the bar. And I'm just like, bro, that's not it. It's just because they say, oh, well, they show all these other people during football games, and typically, you know, the men that they show, and now all of these guys are mad when they show Taylor Swift for 30 seconds. No, that's not what it is, you idiot. They're showing her 17 freaking times every game she's there. It's too much, man. Like, come on. It's too much.
I think it's making them money. That's why I keep doing it. They're going to do what makes money. And that's
I know, but it's just ridiculous, bro. It's like selling out. You know what I mean? It's just, come on. Don't make it about a music singer. Make it about the game of football. Like, okay, you show her once. Cool, she's there. All right, you know, I can get past that. That's cool. Show her at the beginning of the she's there to support her boyfriend. That's cool. Not a problem. But every time Travis Kelce gets the ball, what do they do? Oh, what's Taylor Swift doing?
You remember when Tony Romo was dating Jessica Simpson?
It was the most annoying shit in the world to me.
Dude, I got to wait tables on them. They were at Papa Speedo's
Really?
with their dads. Tony's dad and Jessica Simpson's dad. Pretty wild.
What'd you say to...
Papa Speedo's, used to work there. Good place to work when you're 18 to 24. Even later in life, good money. But
There's like some 38-year-old lady that's still waitressing. She's like, fuck you. She go outside, smoke her cigarette.
What me to him, Brandon? What the hell?
I mean, but why is Mac talking shit? Like, why is Mac talking? But why is Mac talking shit about a 38-year-old woman that's still working at Papacito's?
Hey, Papacito's is legit. I work there right now. Y'all hiring? Hit me up.
That's not what you just said just a minute ago. If you're 18 to 24, probably.
I was just saying for like a good starting out, going to
college.
college
Okay.
and getting a job.
So adults should raise their.
Everybody, that needs to be on our next podcast. I think everybody needs to wait tables at least a full year in their life.
I need to wait table.
So you understand when you go out to eat, and you understand like what people go through.
Etiquette.
Nah.
Yeah, because I didn't necessarily wait on tables, but I helped the girls out when I was working security at a bar in Addison, and we did a lot of food stuff. And man, the people were just, it was bad. It was bad. Like, you get a group of guys in there, they were drinking and hanging out and having a good time, and they just pile their plates up and leave napkins on the floor and food all over the seat, and you're just like, bro, come on, man.
You have to do 2 years if you're not going to go to college. You have to do 2 years of service, public service, and 1 year waiting table. So go to the Army for 2 years, whatever. But you got to do 2 years if you're not going to go to college, and then at least you got to do a year of waiting table.
Sign me up, coach, because I'm not going to college. All right, well, guys, we had a good talk. It's been great. Podcast is officially a wrap for this episode. Next week, we're going to get into talking about some Super Bowl stuff. We'll go a little bit further in about the halftime and what we want to see out of the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. But anyway.
Talking about something.
Do what?
What do you want to talk about? Everything but sports?
I think I should start talking about other stuff.
Okay, for sure. We'll have you on again.
But even if I'm not on, y'all should not only talk about sports.
Okay.
And that's my 2 cents from the Peanut Gallery.
Episode 3.
Episode 3, that's a wrap, baby.
Coming out, baby.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you guys leave a like, leave a subscribe, and leave a comment down below.
If you have any dating comments,
yeah, for sure.
People out the single life, drop it.
And if you're interested in Ashley or you're interested in me, leave a comment down below. We will not respond because we're not into internet dating.
Leave your phone number.
Exactly.
Don't leave your phone number. Do not leave your phone number in the comments. Don't do that. Don't do that. Be smart.
It's 8675309.
There you go. Call that number as many times as you want to. Or what's that Mike Jones phone number?
281-330-8004.
Okay.
All right. Hang out with your wang out.
All right. Later.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
I can be like,
no, because all you're going to do is play Morgan Wallen all night long.
Morgan and Snoop Dogg together, combined it.
I'm Nelly.
Yeah.
It's getting
You wanna go take a ride with me?
If you want to go and take a ride with me, with the oldies and
Oh.
what?